Welcome back to part 2. We're going to deep dive into Mohammed's solutions and to see how you can also build a successful SaaS business. Right, welcome back, Mohammad.
Hi.
Thank you so much for sharing about your first journey as an entrepreneur. And I believe a lot of professionals can resonate with your journey, right? Because as professionals, they'll be thinking, oh, should I take the pay cut? Right? Should I leave aside stability for this new venture? What's the thinking process behind it? And I believe a lot of people struggle with that, which kind of stalls their decision making. But what I learned from you is that you're so convicted of your product and you have the correct proof of concept and you decide to take the leap of faith and quit your job, even if your business couldn't pay for expenses.
At that point in time.
Yeah, at that point in time.
Yeah.
So that is an amazing conviction that you have. I want to move into this idea of creating a SaaS business, right? Because the truth is, when it comes to SaaS, a layman will think about, oh, SaaS, I build a product, I get 100 people to sign up for my $29 product. That is $2,900 worth of passive income monthly, right? So, oh, passive income. I'm building an investment, So people tend to have this thinking behind SaaS, right? So do you think that is the correct way to think about SaaS?
Sorry, before we jump into that, maybe we want to explain what is SaaS first.
Oh, industry term. Yeah. So in your own words, what is SaaS?
SaaS is in software as a service. It became very popular in late 1990s. Right. It took off in 2010.
Wow.
It was so popular. Yeah, right now, SaaS is still quite very much widely adopted by the companies and industries. But somehow, for some reason or the other, now a lot of people or even those companies that are serving those government projects, right? They are not moving to SaaS. They are moving to like a on-premise kind of servers.
On-premise?
Yeah.
Oh.
On-premise.
That means no longer cloud technology.
No cloud, yeah.
I see.
At one point in time, everybody was talking about the cloud,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
But now I think they are going back to on-premises. It's just because of data security. That's the only main concern here.
I see.
Right.
So back then, do you remember the first few SaaS models that were very popular in 2010?
Dropbox.
Oh. Oh yeah, Dropbox is about then.
That was very popular. You know how they started off, right? I mean, this founder,
Maybe you can share to the audience.
I think this founder, right? I mean, he went for a meeting. At that point in time, I think he forgot to take his thumb drive.
Yes.
Right?
Or diskette, whatever you call it in the past, right?
Flash
That was
drive
an
or thumb
important
drive.
meeting, right, for him to present his project. So that was the time he realized that there should be a solution where availability of data should be widely available. I mean, there must be some media that. So it all started from there. He had done up his idea and showed it to his friends. And he received a lot of interest. From there, it all started. They started off like $2 or $2.50 per month.
Yeah. It was really cheap.
Initially, it was free for up to certain. I mean, that worked as a freemium model,
Yes.
right? But then after that, now I think it's not cheap already.
I'm paying for it.
Yeah, usually it's not. But I mean, it's the convenience and the stickiness to SaaS, right? And that's what a lot of entrepreneurs think that is the easy part of SaaS. Because once you get your clients hooked onto your model, then, you can have a staged up kind of increase in price and they are hooked, right? So they cannot leave. So that's what happened to Netflix as well, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's complaining about it. So I guess that's a passive part of the SaaS business, right? So in your opinion, do you think that a SaaS business is actually very easy to do?
So, I mean, I won't say it's neither easy nor very hard. It depends on for which industry you're using this kind of SaaS.
Yeah.
It doesn't apply for every industry. Of course, if it's for like a social usage, like a Dropbox kind of this kind of use cases, yes, definitely yes. But if you're using this kind of thing for industry specific, for example, like construction or facilities management, right?
Yeah.
Every company has their own way of doing things. So it doesn't mean that the SaaS company has defined the workflow it has to suit for any companies. You do things in this way, whereas the other company doesn't have to do the same way as what the SaaS has designed for them. To a certain extent, the SaaS can help, but not entire of their. On that perspective, I think SaaS could not fit into for all the companies.
So what you're saying here is the difference between a B2B SaaS and a B2C SaaS.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you talk about the word social usage, right? I mean, Dropbox mainly for socials. I can share a storage with my family to upload photos.
Yep.
And that it's very social based.
More mass.
Or more mass.
Yeah.
So B2C is more mass related. But what you're saying here is got to do with the B2B SaaS models. Right? Of course, a few that I can think at the top of my mind is Xero, HubSpot, and SaaS models like that. But you're saying that based on your experience, because every company have a different set of systems and processes.
Yep.
So naturally, the way that they adopt or use a SaaS will be very different. So there needs to be a fit, right, in order for them to fully adopt it.
Right.
Yeah.
It cannot be 100% fit for their operation.
Yeah. Yeah. And is that what got you into the SaaS business?
Yeah. So that's why we give a kind of like a hybrid model. We do give SaaS and we do also give on-premise model.
Oh, okay.
Right. We show them our SaaS model. If this SaaS model rightly fits into your operation workflow process, you obviously can go for it. But if you think that the otherwise, you can take your customized on-premise model where actually we customize the whole solution for that company and deploy for them.
I see.
Yeah.
So when you were developing this prototype for 2 years, right? What was the gap that you see in the market?
Okay. Back then, the product that during that time was developed or is based on the desktop oriented.
Oh, desktop. Oh, okay.
As you know, like facilities management, people are always on the ground.
Yeah.
So there was no mobility.
Correct.
So there's no mobile applications.
I can imagine if a facility manager have to bring the laptop around in order to utilize it. It's kind of like, not really applicable to the job, right?
I mean, for example, if you want to do a fault reporting, in a facilities management, you want to do a fault reporting. Obviously, you cannot go back to your office and go and do your fault reporting to your desktop, right? I mean,
that doesn't work.
We have to have that kind of mobile application to instantly report a kind of fault.
Yeah.
So that's one of the major gap that we found that was really lacking in the industry back then. Or I would say most of the solutions back then was built on web-based applications.
I see.
Desktop applications.
I see.
There wasn't any kind of mobile application.
Yeah.
So that's what we thought, that mobile application is a mandatory to fill this kind of gap.
I see. So what you're saying is from your industry, you contextualize to your industry and you realize that actually the SaaS that's provided out there doesn't really fit well with the context of the use of it.
Yeah.
So in this case, the context was, I'm a facility manager. I need to go around the condo to go and find faults, right, that I can report. So it's very counterintuitive if I have to bring my desktop along to go everywhere to do a report. It's just counterintuitive, right? And that's why you decided, okay, this is a problem worthy to solve. And that's where you went into it.
Right.
I see.
Yep.
That's an interesting way to think about creating a SaaS business. Because a lot of times when people think about SaaS is, what's the latest tech out there? What do I think the macro trend is going to be and how are people going to use or work in this particular industry in a different way? Then they start to create infrastructure at large, right? By solving a very vague problem. But you had a very concise problem to solve. And there was no mobile application.
Yeah.
I see.
Did you decide on facilities management because you saw the gap first, or was it because you were already in the industry and you're naturally looking for something a little bit more niche down besides your construction side?
No, although I was in construction industry, I personally was managing facility management contracts during my time.
I see.
So I was managing like 120 schools.
Oh, wow. That's very sizable. I can't imagine.
Under the Ministry of Education, right?
Right.
So during my time, I personally was the project director to manage 160 schools under the maintenance contract.
Wow. Okay.
So that's that's a sort of facilities management. Every single day, I will encounter this problem. The faults are being reported, but then the fault come to my desk only the next day.
Right.
Okay.
So by then, it's really too late for the people to put on the fire, right?
I see.
So
what are some examples of too late?
there's very simple one.
Yeah.
In a toilet, right? There could be a leakage of this WC or something.
Yeah.
If this kind of things have to be repaired immediately, so that because in some schools they have very limited number of toilets. If they're not able to repair, the water keeps on leaking. So they have to shut down the water supply. All right.
Then the whole toilet cannot be in use.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay. So if there were a media like a mobile app for them to report, right? They could have easily
submit a ticket.
Submit a ticket or something like that, right? And immediately the technician could have been deployed over there and get the things rectified. But for this case, they have to go back to the
office,
operation manager,
type of report.
Yeah. Assign a technician, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So it takes a whole process. So that's why, this kind of technology comes in, it reduces down the downtime and get the things fixed at the earliest time possible and get the operations running in full efficiency.
I see.
I find it interesting because I don't think that this issue wouldn't have been floated up earlier, right? Because there are like 120 schools, everyone's going to face some form of this issue at some point.
Yeah.
Right. There must be a lot of this issue, but it wasn't until you spot the gap that you created something for it. Like the mindset of it, of looking at having a problem and then going in to fix the problem is important.
So maybe it came from your engineering background because engineers are, problem solvers. So tell me about the process or the journey that you had to find that solution. So you have daily breakdowns and you're managing 160 schools, right? What was your journey in finding that solution like? Could you describe the journey?
Basically, I have to find out what are the problems they are facing on daily basis.
Yeah.
And literally, I will face this problem on my own self.
Yeah.
So I know what are the problems. So I also know the solution, but it's just that I don't have that kind of process or tools in place to have those problems
resolved
in a shortest possible time. So that is why we wanted to really have a kind of a good system in place, a tool that can really connect the people and connect the process and connect the data in a single platform where holistically it can give a very valuable kind of insights for them to run all the operations efficiently.
Yeah. And when you were creating your prototype, right, were you at any point worried that some other larger US company with bigger budgets, will be spotting this problem and creating a tech solution that makes your effort not worthwhile? Were you ever worried about that?
I don't worry about it is because you know why? Currently, we are focusing in Singapore.
Yeah.
However, it's not a Singapore-only product. We are working towards to suit the Southeast Asia market. If you look at a European product or the US product, it won't fit well for our culture here.
Oh, there's a cultural difference.
You see, in Europe or in US, they also have this kind of facilities management solution.
Yeah.
But this solution is very rigid.
Oh.
They don't have that kind of flexibility, right?
Give me some examples of flexibility.
For example, you want to lodge a fault report through the system, right? The moment a fault is reported, it has to be approved by the approving person before this case can be taken for action.
Oh, okay.
That kind of rigidity is over there.
Yeah.
Right?
So the ground people cannot make the decision to fix the fault.
Yeah. Something like that, right? I'm just quoting as just an example.
Yeah.
Our culture is, even our system don't work, you always have a phone call or WhatsApp and all those things.
Yeah, of course.
Ultimately, we want to get the things solved, right?
Yeah.
So that is our mindset here. The system has to have the kind of flexibility to adapt to this kind of environment here to suit the people. That's why I believe that I really don't fear about product from US or product from Europe.
I see. So, because there's a cultural difference in how they adopt the SaaS or correct. Use the system.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very comforting to hear because, of course, US are always at the forefront in multiple industries when it comes to tech adoption and tech innovation, right? But the fact that you mentioned about the cultural difference, right, that allows even a small SaaS company in Singapore to thrive, right, because they understand the Southeast Asia nuances of adopting the products.
Yeah, because those kind of the products that comes from US or Europe, right? They are all designed for heavier infrastructure kind of projects.
Explain a little more.
Those kind of systems are really meant to be or designed for big campuses or big industrial projects.
I see.
Unlike what we have here in Singapore, 50 schools or 60 schools, right?
Yeah.
Or even a campus of Maple Tree kind of
industrial area.
Cluster of like 10 buildings. No, I mean, not that kind of thing. That one is very massive one. So obviously the price tag that what they have on that product is very heavy.
I see.
It's not affordable at all. Whereas in here, it's the otherwise.
So when we are looking at the product, I mean, it goes back to, I guess, business fundamentals, right? When you're developing a product or a solution, it still goes back to your actual target market.
Yeah.
And really serving that needs that is very different from other people as well. Yeah. But I guess in marketing, we also have very similar SaaS.
Yes.
There's overseas and all that. Right. But the local SaaS companies then have to serve the cultural nuances that is different here.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I mean, let's talk a little bit about the monetization behind SaaS, right? Because that's what a lot of business owners will want to understand and hear as well. So you mentioned that for Europe and US SaaS models, usually because they are maybe even serving a town, facility management for a town, their budgets are way bigger. Yeah. The pricing is also way bigger, right? So what is it like for your company in a local context? How do you price it well?
We keep it very much affordable because a lot of companies here that use your product is all SMEs. All right. That's why our product also is a PSG approved product, Productive Solution Grant. So we also have put up our product, it's one of the PSG approved product where the SMEs can actually tap onto the grant where they are entitled for 50% support from the government as well.
Yeah.
All right. So on that basis, you see like the starting pricing point starts from $10,000, which is very much affordable for the SMEs. Yeah. So somewhere it's been supported 50% from the government is about another $5,000, right? So just a $5,000 per year. I think it's very much affordable when compared to those kind of big boys products.
Yeah. And I believe there's a recurring as well.
Yeah.
So how is your recurring priced?
So recurring go back to the original price at $10,000 per year.
I see. Yeah. Then it repeats every year.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is less than a person's salary, a year's salary, right? Yeah. Was that the thinking process behind how you decided, right?
It was, yeah.
So a lot of, let's talk about SaaS as a business, right? Because you are in the SaaS business. So what are some on the ground realities that we don't know about having a SaaS business? Is it as simple as, okay, I built a tech stack, it works, people buy, and then I get recurring free money, Is it as simple as it sounds? Tell me a little bit more about what do you have to do to maintain it?
Every day you have security threats.
Yeah.
You have to keep a third eye on your servers, right? You have to do your security patches, all right? And you have to keep your eye on your server, whether it's running up to the speed. And the more users subscribe to your solution, the scalability has to be taken care of, right? It's not just that you develop the SaaS, then you just throw it outside and people buy, then you just sit out and relax and just collect the money. No, not something like that. You're not the only one who develops SaaS. There's another guy already developing the SaaS, right?
Correct.
I mean, which may be much more affluent than what you have in those currently, right? I mean, and you have to stay competitive enough to fight with your competitor. You cannot just giving the people version 1. I mean, now the customers' expectation also is not that easy, right? I mean, very demanding, right?
Yes.
So you have to keep up with the pace of the technology and you have to keep improving the product and you have to keep improving the servers. So all these things has to be taken care of, be it the software, be it the hardware, or be it the network. Everything has to be taken care of. I mean, the responsibility is there. It's just not that just develop and one time go. Yeah.
Does the AI play a portion in what you do as well in terms of the SaaS?
Currently, we are including an AI feature into the SaaS especially for the facilities management, where we are building up an app where it's also integrated with the WhatsApp. So for example, right, if any resident or any public people who want to report a fault, actually they have prominently a QR code will be pasted within the property, right? The moment they scan the QR code, it will automatically be directed to his WhatsApp. They can start to communicate with the bot at the backend our bot. So immediately. So we are just removing the human factor to interact with the people who is putting up the ticket over there.
Yeah. So previously, what was the process like?
Previously, like you have to have help desk people on the backend to receive this kind of tickets, and you respond to them and you assign a technician and you get the things fixed. Then you report back to the compliant that the things has been resolved.
So it's a three-way thing.
Yeah.
It's
so
just
now we
person
remove
process.
the middle person, and we introduce the AI bot to interact between the technician and the guy who reported
immediately.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this bot also able to identify a technician within the vicinity of that property of that caliber to designate a technician.
Oh, they can even calibrate.
Yep.
What level of technician need to solve this problem based on the photo.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot be sending an electrician to fix the aircon problem, right?
Of course. Of course. I see.
So, I mean, this AI bot would be able to manage this kind of scenarios.
So what I really like about what Mohammad is sharing here, right, is that there is a strong application behind the tech he's building, behind the tech you're building, right? Because I mean, the buzzword now is AI, the buzzword now is tech, everyone's going into that space. But a lot of business owners or a lot of individuals will think that, oh, let's build the tech first. We'll find the people to use it later. But you're building around what is needed on the ground, right? Based on what you observe in your experience as a facility manager, contract program director in the past, right? So what do you have to say about this mindset difference?
People from the other vendors or our competitors, they hear from the buyers, they hear from the principals and develop the product. But for my side, I come from the domain. So I have the kind of domain expertise.
Yeah. So you are the client and you are the problem, the person that experiences the problem.
Yeah, got it. And I hear from the users and I don't hear from the buyers.
I see.
I want to solve the pain points. I want to hear from, that's why I hear from the users. I want to give them the very simple user interface.
Yeah.
It's not a very kind of flunky kind of things, right? I mean, so by that way, we are trying to get our applications very simple and user-friendly and make it workable with a very shorter learning curve.
I really like that because it reminds me of a scenario that we had before last time. That basically we tried onboarding a SaaS and then the SaaS became a white elephant because it wasn't designed around the users. Right, it was basically based on certain functionalities that were that it was dreamt of. Like we need this kind of functionality, right? And then sure, they are functional and they fulfill that request, but it's not very user centric, right? So it didn't then fit around the human design, so it became a white elephant.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think what you have just said is the other way around, right? Really designing it around the human element to solve the problems, then the functions that are required.
In the SaaS business, what you offer is slightly unique because you are doing a hybrid. You mentioned a hybrid model where there is, something that's built and ready that you can apply straight away if it's applicable to you. And there is also the part where you can build something within premise, right? So there requires a lot more customization. So your approach is customization in SaaS. Whereas a lot of other SaaS companies out there is scaling.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you decide on this difference in the approach?
For the SaaS vendors, they are not really very interested to go and customize the product. There we see the gap, the business opportunities. We are here to solve the problem, right? No point we force the product to my clients. When we give a solution to the clients, we make sure it is purposeful and it's meaningful. So on that perspective, if the workflow doesn't really go in line with our SaaS model, we won't recommend to them. We will fully encourage them to have it customized.
Yeah.
So that end of the day, as well as it doesn't become as another white elephant. That's the only reason why we came up with this option for this our clients.
Could you share a little bit more about the topic of cybersecurity and digital data security? Because you mentioned earlier that the reason why more companies are looking at on-premise tech is because they are moving away from the cloud technology. In your lens or your perspective, why do you see this trend happening?
The very first most thing is all our clients are working for government agencies also. So the utmost importance is to safeguard all the data. When it goes to cloud, yes, it has to certain level of security, but not 100%. When you come to on-premise, compared to SaaS cloud, you are on the edge. I mean, you have a very good control over the data of what you're supposed to protect for the government agency. On that aspect, the clients are now more concerned to have all their solutions hosted within their company, within their premises.
Yeah.
So that's why they are looking more for those kind of
solutions.
On-premise space.
But in facility management, is there any data to protect? I mean, what's the kind of data that we need to protect
in facilities management? For any people who does the reporting of they usually submit their names and contact numbers as well for them to be contacted back.
Yeah.
So they hold the privacy data as well.
And if there's any data that leaks, it will be on the responsibility of the facility management to pay for any legal repercussions.
Yeah, right.
I see. Yeah. I mean, recently, in more recent times, we actually see a lot of data leak in hospitals as well.
Yeah.
Data breach happening more so in today's age. Maybe with AI, maybe with more advancement in technology, somehow the bad guys manage to, hack into certain systems, right? And that's why maybe people are more fearful in that area.
Messy world out there.
Yeah, it is a messy world out there.
Yeah.
So now they are going back to square to on-premise.
Do you feel that humankind is going backwards in that sense?
It's not, I won't say it's backward. They're going back to the right step.
Share a bit more about why is the on-premise the right approach?
On-premise model, it's up to you to implement the right set of tools and solutions to safeguard your data with the firewalls, we have like a more sophisticated tools to put in place to protect the data. But whereas you consider the SaaS, you will completely depend on the vendor and the hosting provider to a certain extent of security. That's it.
Yeah.
If you want to strengthen the level of that security, you don't have that kind of luxury.
So what would you recommend for companies, for smaller companies maybe? When would they need an on-premise model instead of a SaaS model? Is it about the size of the estate that they're managing? What is the requirement there?
Okay, it's all depends on the budgeting also. Why people go for SaaS is because
cheaper.
Yeah. Right. If you have, if your pocket is quite fatty enough, and you have that kind of budget to spend, definitely nobody want to go for SaaS. They want to put their server in the office, in the HQ, and have it hosted over there and run their operations. But it's just that you need to prepare to pay more, right? Rather than sharing with the people.
Would you like to share to the audience a little bit more about what your product is called? And if there's someone who is interested to work with you on your product, right, how can they contact you?
You can go to our website, www.ngt.com.sg. Our product is ECMS. So ECMS is the computerized management system.
Yeah.
So this has holistically 5 modules: preventive maintenance, fault reporting. You also have inspection system, safety management system, right? So basically it covers the entire of the fault facilities management operations. And you can always drop us an email. You can find our email over there in my website. Yeah. So
we're going to drop the details in the video below as well, so that you can contact Mohammad and team to inquire more about the product itself. So of course, we are not ending here right now, right? In the next part, we're going to be sharing a little bit more about your expansion journey beyond Singapore borders and how is he going to bring his product to the region.